When I first heard about the way the Amish save seeds, I was fascinated. Imagine generations of families growing their food without relying on commercial seed packets, keeping alive varieties that have thrived for centuries. For the Amish, seed saving is more than just gardening. It's about stewardship, self-reliance, and a deep respect for the cycle of life in the soil. And here's the secret. Their methods are practical, time-tested, and something every gardener, yes, even you and me, can learn from. In this article, I'll take you inside the Amish approach to seed saving, showing you not only the how, but also the why. Whether you're a beginner who's never saved a single seed or a seasoned grower looking to refine your techniques, you'll walk away with real, actionable insights to preserve your own harvest and keep your garden thriving year after year. For the Amish, farming is both livelihood and lifestyle. They don't depend on seed catalogs or online shops the way most of us do. Instead, they cultivate heirloom varieties, plants whose seeds grow true to type, generation after generation. These seeds are living history, often passed down within families for over 100 years. By saving their own seeds, the Amish maintain crops that are perfectly adapted to their soil, climate, and farming methods. Think about it. A tomato variety that's been grown in the same valley for 80 years is far more resilient there than anything you could buy off the shelf. That's not just tradition, it's smart gardening. The Amish are selective about which seeds they save, and this is where most gardeners miss the mark. Not every seed is worth keeping. The key lies in focusing on open-pollinated or heirloom varieties. Why? Because these plants pass on consistent traits from one generation to the next. Hybrid plants, on the other hand, won't produce reliable offspring. If you save seeds from a hybrid, you might end up with a tomato that's nothing like the one you loved this year. Action step for you. When planting this season, dedicate part of your garden to open-pollinated varieties you want to preserve. Label them clearly, so you'll know which plants are your seed producers. One of the most overlooked parts of seed saving is patience. The Amish don't rush this process. Seeds need to fully mature on the plant before they're harvested. That means leaving beans on the vine until they rattle in the pod, peppers until they're bright red and slightly wrinkled, or cucumbers until they're yellowed and bloated. Yes, it can feel counterintuitive to let a plant go, but here's the truth. Seeds that ripen fully on the plant have higher viability and vigor. In other words, they're stronger, healthier, and more likely to thrive when you plant them next year. So here's an action step for you. Mark a few plants in your garden with ribbons or tags. These will be your seed-saving plants. And try to resist the temptation to harvest them for food. You're growing next year's crop insurance. The Amish take care during seed harvest to ensure quality. Each crop has its own method, and once you know these, seed saving becomes second nature. For dry seeds like beans, peas, lettuce, or corn, the process is simple. Just wait until the pods or husks are brittle and dry, then collect the seeds. Amish families often spread them on a clean cloth in a breezy room to finish drying. For wet seeds, like tomatoes, cucumbers, or squash, there's a little more work involved. Seeds must be separated from the pulp, often through fermentation. For example, tomato seeds are scooped into a jar with some water and left to ferment for a few days. The good seeds sink while the bad float and are discarded. The Amish have used this method for generations, and honestly, it's still one of the best ways to ensure clean, viable seeds. Okay, here's an action step for you. Learn one wet seed and one dry seed method this season. Start small, maybe with beans and tomatoes, so you can gain confidence before expanding to other crops. This is where, honestly, a lot of home gardeners slip up. Seeds must be dried thoroughly before storage, or they risk molding. Amish families often place seeds on cloth or paper in a well-ventilated, shady area. Direct sun can damage them, so the focus is on steady airflow and low humidity. Here's the trick. Seeds should be dry enough to snap or shatter when pressed, not bend. That's how the Amish know they're ready. Here's another action step for you. Create a drying station in your home. A spare shelf, attic space, or even a simple screen will do. Just make sure it's out of direct sunlight and has good air circulation. Storage is the final step, and the Amish do it with care. Seeds are stored in cool, dark and dry places, often in mason jars, cloth bags or envelopes, labeled with the crop and year. Some families even store them in old wooden boxes, tucked away in root cellars that naturally maintain the right environment. The rule of thumb cooler and drier equals longer seed life. Many seeds can last 3 to 5 years when stored properly, but with careful selection and storage, Amish families have kept varieties alive for generations. Action step for you. Invest in a few airtight jars or containers. Label them clearly, and keep them in a spot that stays consistently cool and dry, like a closet or pantry. Beyond the mechanics, there's a deeper lesson in the Amish approach. Seed saving is about more than gardening. It's about independence. By saving your own seeds, you're not just growing food, you're breaking free from dependency on seed companies. You're creating a garden that adapts to your soil, your climate, and your needs. Think about the resilience this brings. In a world where food security is becoming less certain, seed saving is one of the most empowering practices we can adopt. It's a living insurance policy, and it connects us to the same traditions that have sustained families for centuries. So, what's the Amish secret to seed saving? Well, it's not complicated. It's about choosing heirloom seeds, letting them fully mature, harvesting carefully, drying thoroughly, and storing them with respect. Simple, yes, but powerful. And here's the thing. You don't have to live like the Amish to adopt their wisdom. You can start right where you are, with your own patch of soil, and begin building a seed legacy that might outlast you. Imagine your children or grandchildren planting the same tomato variety you grew today. That's the gift of seed saving. Gardening is more than tending plants, it's tending traditions. The Amish have kept seed saving alive not because it's trendy, but because it's essential. And for us, it can be just as transformative. So, the next time you're tempted to toss a tomato into the compost or harvest all your beans for dinner, stop and think, what if I saved a few for the future? That small act could be the start of something bigger. If you found this guide inspiring and useful, I'd love for you to join me on this journey. Subscribe to Soil Sage Chronicles for more timeless gardening wisdom, and share this with a fellow gardener who might need a reminder of just how powerful a seed can be. Together, let's keep these traditions alive, one seed at a time.